Hi.
You.
Hey, it's Cassie Cotton here from Keller Williams, Jacksonville in the House to Home Group. And I've got Mackenzie, who is a first-time home buyer, and her lender, Karen, from Fairway Mortgage. Hi, Mackenzie. Hi, Karen. How are y'all?
Hey,
Hello,
Cassie.
it's good to see you. Hi, Mackenzie. Good to meet you virtually.
I'm good. I'm doing good. It's good to meet you virtually. Over the email, it's just not the same.
It
That's
really
right. You should do this more often.
Awesome. Well, I have a couple of questions for you. Hopefully you can help me. I am looking to buy a house soon and kind of trying to figure out where I need to start with all of this,
Sure.
and all that I need to do before I can actually buy a home. I know it's a bit more difficult than just buying a car. So
Yeah, it's a little
lot more.
normally it's a larger trend. It's one of the largest purchases of your lifetime,
Mhm.
and it's super important. And
Awesome.
the best place to start is to talk to a lender and get yourself pre-qualified and find out all of the programs that are available, so that you can pick and choose what's right for you, because everybody's unique. Everybody's got different circumstances. So what works for you might be different, for someone else. So the very first thing you want to do is get yourself pre-qualified, get pre-approved. Go ahead and just, probably talk to a couple of different lenders and really decide in your gut which one you feel like you could work with best, as far as communication, and because communication is super important when you're buying a house. You want to be able to get in touch with your loan officer, but you want to have a program that suits your needs as well.
Awesome. So what are the different types of programs that are out there right now for mortgages?
Well, there are basically 4 different types of mortgages for first-time home buyers. There's the FHA, conventional loans, USDA rural housing loans, and VA loans. VA loans are for veterans and active duty service members, 100% financing. A lot of first-time home buyers will go with an FHA loan. FHA guidelines are a little bit easier. It's a little easier to qualify for an FHA loan. Credit scores are a little lower. So low down payment, it's only 3.5% down. And then the qualifying guidelines are just a little bit easier than if you go into a conventional loan. And I have plenty of young folks that qualify for conventional loans too. If you have a pretty good credit score, good job stability, good income, maybe even have a little bit of a down payment, then a conventional loan is a good option.
So you're saying with the conventional loan, I think you said so you get a decent credit, a good credit score, and a steady job. In that sense, what would be considered a good credit score? Like what kind of number? What would be considered a steady income? Like when you're talking numbers, what kind of jumps out as something that would lean toward conventional?
Well, when I look at a first-time homebuyer loan application, if their credit score is below about a 680 or so, I'm usually going to be looking at an FHA loan.
Okay.
There are exceptions. For example, I have a young lady now who has only a 640 credit score, but her grandfather's giving her 20% down. So in a case like that, it makes more sense for her to go into a conventional loan, even though her rate's a little bit higher. There are other factors such as private mortgage insurance that weighed more in her favor that way.
Okay, by putting the 20% down, that was waived off.
Well, PMI, because with
PMI.
FHA, you're always going to have PMI no matter how much money you put down.
Okay.
So even though with her lower credit score, she could get a better interest rate with her FHA loan, because she has 20% down, it makes a lot more sense to go into a conventional loan, because there is no PMI, and the PMI does nothing for you. It completely insures the lender. It raises your mortgage payment basically, but it insures the lender in the event of default. Is basically what PMI is for.
So for conventional, if I individually qualified for conventional, but someone else on the mortgage with me had but let's say I have a 750, 780, would us together, would that not allow us to apply for a conventional, or would my credit score carry us through?
You go with the lower of the two. So yeah, that 640 credit score would dictate which loan program would work best for you.
Okay. Perfect. That changes things.
Yeah, right? You go with a lower credit score when there's two people applying for the same mortgage.
I can't hear Janet.
Yeah.
You're going to go with the same. You're going to go with a lower interest rate for the same mortgage.
Okay. Okay, awesome. Let's see. I had a couple other questions written down. So what would be an average down payment on an FHA loan or a conventional loan on, let's say, a house that was $250,000?
Okay, let me get my calculator. So the minimum down on an FHA loan is 3.5%.
Okay.
So that's going to be $8,750
Okay.
minimum. You can do as much as you want to. And if you did a 3% down on a conventional loan, it would be $7,500 down.
Okay. And then are there any programs out there that could assist first-time home buyers with those types of costs?
Absolutely. There's all kinds of programs. Excuse me. Florida Housing has a lot of great programs. There are bond programs. There are bonds that are forgivable, meaning if you stay in the house for the first 5 years, the money's completely wiped out. You don't have to pay any of it back.
Okay.
If you don't qualify for those forgivable bonds, there are bonds that are not forgiven, meaning you don't have to pay any interest on them. You don't make any payments on them, but down the road when you sell or refinance your house, you have to pay the bond money back. And there are many variations of these bond programs through Florida Housing. And there are other organizations that have down payment assistance programs too. I think the city of Jacksonville has a program. I don't know if they have it all the time. It comes and goes. NACA is a first-time home buyer organization that helps people with down payment as well.
Okay.
So there are a variety of programs. Some of them come and go, but there's always some kind of a program available to help first-time buyers.
Okay. That makes it a lot more relieving to walk into, to know that you can have a little bit of money, just get your foot in the door,
Yes.
literally, and then on a house that was, again, let's say $250,000, and then if I use the down payment assistance, I'm covered on that end, but how much do I have to pay for an inspection and closing costs?
Inspection
Or an
costs,
average?
it's hard to say. On a $250,000 house, closing costs are probably going to run $3,000 or $4,000, but sometimes if you have a good realtor, they can help you, like Janet, can help you negotiate maybe for the seller to contribute towards some of those costs.
Okay.
It doesn't, that's the best way, honestly, is if you can negotiate to get the seller, if they're willing and able to pay some closing costs, it's a great way to do it.
Oh, wow. I never even thought about that.
Yeah. And then first-time home buyers are allowed to use gift money. So if you have a nice relative that has a little money, they're willing to help you out. That's another option.
Okay. Is that just as simple as someone just putting $10,000 in my bank account, or is there kind of a process to facilitate that?
Everything's a process. We have to verify everything. So yes, we would verify the money coming out of their account, going into your account. We get a little gift letter signed, basically stating it's a gift. And then you can also, if you have a 401k, you can possibly do a loan against your 401k or borrow or pull money out of it. It's tax refund season. A lot of people, will use their tax refund just to pay for those little things that you're going to have to pay for. Even if everything's covered, you're still going to have to write a bond or check once you go under contract, and that's your good faith money. Basically, it's held in escrow to let the seller know you really want to buy the house. And then your inspection costs, which would probably run somewhere between 400 and 600.
Okay. With the binder check, when I do purchase a home, do I get that money back, or does it go to the seller no matter what?
Yep, you get it. It gets credited back at closing. It goes towards
Okay.
your down payment or your closing costs.
Okay. So in this magical world that I have down payment assistance and the seller decides to pay all of my closing costs, would I just get that binder check just right back into my bank account kind of situation, or would it go toward the mortgage automatically?
It's going to go toward the mortgage.
Okay.
With the down payment assistance programs, you're not allowed to get your binder back. It actually
Okay.
goes towards the transaction now.
If it goes toward it's like, that's where I put it anyway. So at least it's going toward that.
Somehow, yes.
Okay. Awesome. I think that's gotten a good bit of my questions. I guess the last one I had is, is there some kind of special formula or just a way for me to kind of mathematically, when I'm looking at houses, if I have in my head how much I want to spend on a mortgage every month, is there some kind of range I could look for when looking at home price?
Well, your mortgage lady can help you figure that out. I mean,
Like
if you
you.
yes, I can help you with that. Tell me how much you want your payment to be, and we'll back into a number.
Okay.
It's a ballpark number,
Mhm.
because things vary. Interest rates vary, taxes will vary, homeowners insurance will vary, but we can give you a general idea.
Okay.
I
Awesome.
think, Karen, when I'm talking with buyers, especially our first-time home buyers, it's never so much as not the question of how much house do you want. It's more of what do you want your mortgage payment to be.
Exactly. I always ask that question. At the most, how much per month would you be comfortable paying for a mortgage? And sometimes they start out kind of low, and then they get out and see what they can find in that price range, and they come back and say, yeah, maybe we'll push it a little bit. First-time buyers tend to try to make their mortgage payment be the same as what they're paying in rent. But you have to factor in other things when you have a mortgage, because you've got tax benefits that kind of outweigh paying a little bit more per month.
Yeah. And I've noticed too, something that's so important that I always look at is those little things like, how new are the windows? Like, or how, what's my AC bill? Because at the house that we rent in, the windows it's a beach house, and the windows are older. And I'm like, wow, this electric bill is way higher than it could be. So it's like those little things too that can help, because it still kind of goes into, because for me, it's kind of, I just factor in like how much what it's been with my mortgage, but then if other bills are much higher, then my mortgage payment might have to come down. And so.
Yeah, all those things factor in.
Awesome.
Very cool.
I think you've answered all my questions.
Awesome. I'm glad I had answers.
Mackenzie, you're ready to buy a house, huh?
Are you ready to go shopping?
Almost there.
Almost there? Okay. Well, this was awesome. Sorry I had a little technical trouble getting in with you guys, but it's been my story the past few days. But anyway, Karen, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you being a part of this. And I know Mackenzie's going to find the perfect house. Between Cass and I, we're definitely going to be able to find her a home that she'll love. Is there any parting words that you want to give to our first-time home buyers?
It's a great time to buy a house. Rates are pretty low, and home prices are not overblown. And I can't think of a better thing to do for a young person than buy a house. And you won't regret it. It's the joy of home ownership. You don't really understand it till you actually own it. So let's do this.
Cool. Okay, we look forward to working with you and Mackenzie finding the right home. So,
Sounds good. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
yeah, thanks everybody.